Imagine waking up tomorrow and discovering that, without realizing it, your body has started functioning at a slower pace. It's not something you feel immediately, but in the next few hours, small, silent changes can begin to affect your energy, your appetite, and even how your body stores fat. Most people only notice when they're already tired all the time, or when their weight starts to increase inexplicably. But there's good news. Understanding what happens in the first 24 hours, this can help. You recognize the signs before it becomes a bigger problem. And in this video, you'll follow, hour by hour, what really happens inside your body when your metabolism starts to slow down, from the first cell reactions to the changes in the hormones that control your energy. Because the first change happens much earlier than you imagine, and it all begins at the moment when your body decides to expend less energy. Let's see what happens in minute zero. Imagine your body is like a city full of energy, where everything needs to function simultaneously. The heart pumps, the brain thinks, the muscles work, and the cells produce fuel for everything to happen. Now imagine that suddenly this city begins to slow down. The lights don't go out, but everything becomes a little slower. That's exactly what happens when your metabolism starts to slow down. At first, nobody notices. You continue your day normally, but inside your body, something important has already changed. The organism begins to conserve energy, as if it were trying to save fuel for later. It's like a cell phone entering battery-saving mode. Your body starts to burn fewer calories, produce less heat, and some processes even slow down a bit. Digestion no longer works at the same speed, and some cells begin to use energy more carefully. And the curious thing is that all of this can happen without any clear warning signs at the beginning. But this small change is just the beginning, because in the next few hours, your body will make another silent decision, and it could completely change how your energy is used for the rest of the day. A few hours after the metabolism begins to slow down, the body makes a silent decision. Save energy. It's like when a city realizes it might lose power and decides to reduce its lighting to avoid bigger problems. Something similar happens inside your body. Cells begin to use energy more carefully. The body tries to use only what is truly necessary. The body produces slightly less heat. Some processes slow down, and the internal rhythm decreases slightly. This doesn't mean your body has stopped working. In fact, it continues to work all the time. It's just trying now. Use energy more efficiently, like a car that starts driving slower to save fuel. At that moment, something interesting begins to happen. The way your body uses energy from food begins to change. Instead of using it all up quickly, it may start storing some of that energy for later. And this small change sets the stage for something that happens a few hours later, when the body begins to decide what to use as energy and what to store as a reserve. About 6 hours after the metabolism starts to slow down, the body makes another important decision. Now it doesn't just want to conserve energy, it also starts to save more fuel for later. Imagine your body is like a house that receives food every day. When everything is running smoothly, this food is used almost immediately to produce energy. But when metabolism slows down, the body starts to think differently. It begins to store some of this energy as a reserve. At this point, glucose, which is the sugar circulating in the blood, can remain there for longer before being used by the cells. Some cells begin to work a little more slowly, and the body starts to favor energy storage. This doesn't happen by chance. It's a very ancient mechanism of the human organism. For thousands of years, the body has learned that storing energy can be a way to survive times of scarcity. But in today's world where food is always available, this same mechanism can generate curious effects within the body. And it is precisely now that a very important body begins to take action to reorganize all of this. The liver. About 12 hours after the metabolism begins to slow down, one of the body's most important organs kicks in to reorganize everything. The liver, it functions as a kind of large energy control center for the body. Imagine a huge warehouse that decides what should be used now and what needs to be stored for later. When metabolism slows down, the liver realizes that the body isn't burning energy at the same rate as before, so it starts to reorganize the fuel circulating in the blood. Some of the glucose, the sugar that comes from food, begins to be stored as reserves. It's as if the body is saying, maybe it's better to save some for later. But that's not all that happens. The liver also participates in the production of substances that help control the appetite, and when metabolism slows down, this balance can shift slightly. That's why some people start to notice something curious. Hunger may appear more quickly, or the craving for more energy-dense foods may increase. This happens because the body is trying to ensure it has enough fuel to keep functioning. It's a very ancient survival system that still exists within us. However, this reorganization of energy is not limited to the liver. There is another organ that is highly dependent on this energy and begins to feel these changes quickly. And in the next few hours, the person who starts to realize all this is the brain. About 16 hours after the metabolism begins to slow down, another extremely important organ begins to notice that something has changed. The brain, it's like the body's main command center, responsible for controlling almost everything that happens inside you. And to function properly, it needs a lot of energy. Even though it represents only a small part of the body's weight, the brain uses about 20% of all available energy. Therefore, when the metabolism slows down, the body quickly feels the difference. At this point, the brain begins to make small adjustments to continue functioning as well as possible. Some people may notice very subtle signs, such as a feeling of a slightly slower mind, difficulty concentrating, or the impression that the body is less inclined to perform certain tasks. This happens because the brain is trying to manage the available energy more carefully. It's as if it's telling the rest of the body, let's only spend what's necessary. But there's another important detail happening at the same time. The brain is also constantly communicating with the hormones that regulate energy in the body. And when metabolism slows down, this communication begins to change. Some of these hormones may begin to adjust in an attempt to maintain the body's balance. And one of them plays a very important role in this process to insulin, responsible for helping cells use energy from the blood. And it is precisely in the next few hours that these hormones begin to react more clearly within the body. About 18 hours after the metabolism begins to slow down, something very interesting starts to happen inside the body. Hormones kick in to try and reorganize everything. Hormones are like tiny messengers that travel through the bloodstream, carrying instructions to different parts of the body. One of these messengers is the insulin. Its function is to help glucose, the sugar that circulates in the blood, enter the cells where it will be used as energy. Under normal conditions, this process happens quickly and efficiently. But when metabolism slows down, the body may start to react a little differently. Cells may take a little longer to respond to insulin, and this causes glucose to circulate in the blood for longer before being used. It's not something a person feels immediately. Most of the time, everything seems normal on the outside, but inside, the body is trying to find a new way to balance energy, storage, and consumption. It's as if the organism is reorganizing its rules to deal with the fuel it receives. This hormonal adjustment is the body's attempt to keep everything functioning as well as possible. However, it also triggers another important effect that begins to appear inside the cells, because now, those who are starting to feel these changes are the mitochondria, tiny structures that function as the body's true power plants. About 20 hours after your metabolism starts to slow down, something very small, but extremely important, begins to feel this change. Inside each cell of your body are tiny structures called mitochondria. They are like small power plants that work all the time, transforming nutrients from food into fuel for the body to function. When metabolism is running fast, these power plants work at a brisk pace, producing energy for the brain to think, muscles to move, and all organs to do their job. But when metabolism slows down, the mitochondria also begin to change how they produce energy. Some start working a little slower. Others enter a more economical mode, producing energy in a more controlled way. It's like a factory that reduces the speed of its machines to use less fuel. This adjustment is the body's attempt to keep everything balanced. After all, even with a slower metabolism, the body needs to keep functioning. That's why many people start to feel something curious at this point, a feeling of tiredness that appears even without having exerted much effort. The body still has energy, but it's using this fuel more carefully. But mitochondria don't work alone. They are part of a much larger system that tries to keep the body in balance. And after almost a whole day at this new pace, the body begins to do something surprising. He tries to find a new way to adapt to this change. After almost 24 hours, with the metabolism working more slowly, the body starts to do something very clever. It tries adapt to the new rhythm. The human body is like a large team that works together all the time. When one part changes speed, the others try to adjust so that everything continues to function. At this point, the body begins to reorganize its priorities. Some functions continue exactly as before because they are essential for life, such as the heart beating and the brain sending signals. But other activities begin to occur a little more slowly, precisely to conserve energy. It's like a city that decides to slow down its machines to avoid wasting fuel. The lights stay on, services continue to run, but everything happens at a more relaxed pace. Within the body, this adjustment involves several systems simultaneously. Cells, hormones, organs, and even the small power plants we saw earlier. They all work together to find a new balance. That's why many people don't immediately notice when their metabolism slows down. The body is very good at adapting and hiding these changes for a while. But there's something curious about this process. Even while trying to adjust, the body continues to react to the environment and daily habits. And some very common behaviors can further accelerate this change in metabolism. And that's exactly what we're going to find out now. Because there's a modern habit that can influence metabolism much faster than most people imagine. After about 24 hours, the body has already undergone several small changes trying to adapt to the slower metabolism. It conserved energy, reorganized how it uses fuel from food, adjusted hormones, and even slowed down some power plants within the cells. All of this happened silently, almost as if the body were trying to keep everything running without you noticing. But here's the most interesting part. Metabolism isn't fixed. It changes according to what you do every day. The time you sleep, the type of food you eat, how much you move. All of this sends signals to the body telling it whether to speed up or slow down. That's why many people feel constantly tired, hungry at odd hours, or have difficulty maintaining energy throughout the day without understanding exactly why. Most of the time, the body is simply reacting to the habits it has adopted over the past few hours, and there's a very common habit that can mess with this system even more: eating very late at night. When this happens, the body has to deal with energy and digestion, precisely at the moment when it should be slowing down to rest. In the next video, we'll follow along. What happens inside your body in the 24 hours after eating late at night, and some of the effects may surprise you. If this type of clear explanation about the human body helps you better understand your own health, take advantage of it now to leave a like and subscribe to the channel, because the next video will reveal a detail that almost no one notices, but that happens every night inside the body.